Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode. We're going to be talking about taxes. Taxes.
Not Texas.
Taxes Part 2.
But taxes.
Taxes in Texas.
E&A.
Texas and taxes.
Switched around just a little bit.
It's about life. There's only two things guaranteed in life.
Texas.
Death and taxes.
Oh, I was going to say Texas and taxes.
Well, I don't want to say Texas is death, so yes.
No, Texas is guaranteed.
Texas is guaranteed
To be
every
Texas.
What specifically in tax are we talking about today?
Yes.
I know last week we talked about taking a look at how to protest your property taxes.
That's right.
What about this week?
This week we're going to talk about what happens after you don't pay them.
Pay your taxes.
You know what? I don't want to pay these taxes. I'm protesting by not paying them at all.
Not
How you
paying
like that?
Taxes. I'm not paying taxes.
Well, we don't need your stinking taxes.
What's happening?
Well, it's like there are ways around it.
You know what? I don't have to because I'm Willie.
Awesome.
Okay, unless you are a member of the armed forces and have that in your paperwork that you don't pay any taxes.
It's 100% disabled.
100% disabled. The rest of us have to deal with the taxes.
In Texas.
In Texas.
Mm.
For the property. And that's if whether you own one property, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. The thing about it is some people, they just forget. Their grandmother dies, they didn't realize that they had the property, and the taxes don't get paid. So there's a lot of reasons that people don't end up paying taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope that everybody's paying what they owe. But for those who don't,
And there are also exemptions to certain things. Now,
Yes.
There are, 100%, yes.
and it's not like they take it away right away. They'll let it go for 2-3 years while things get sorted out. They'll understand as long as you go to them and say, hey, this is what's going on. Let us sort it out. Okay, fine. You still owe us money. They're the government. They want to collect their money. So what happens when you don't pay is that it'll go to one of 3 different auction houses that take care of the Texas properties, and the auction houses are associated by counties. And so depending on the county, like for example, up in Austin you have Travis County, that's the main one.
Yeah.
Inside San Antonio it's Bexar County. And for New Braunfels, Spring Branch area, that's Comal County. And then we got Guadalupe to the south, in Seguin.
and in Cibolo insurance.
Cibolo Shirts. Cibolo Shirts, I think that's Bear.
No.
No.
Cibolo is Guadalupe.
Cibolo's Guadalupe. I didn't know that.
Guadalupe.
Yes.
Oh, this is a little
And
bit
shirts in different areas depending on where you live. Like some people live in Shirts and there's some part of Comal County. And some people live in Shirts and it's part of Bexar County.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of Shirts is in Guadalupe County.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it gets convoluted that way, but the thing about being able to watch them is there's one of the ones that I like to go to that's MVBA law. They have, hey, we're in this county. These are the properties that we are going to be selling. Hey, come out. It always takes place the first Tuesday of every month, unless it's a holiday, and then it'll go to the next Tuesday.
Nice.
So just something to keep in mind.
What does that even look like though, in terms of someone's house getting put up for auction in that way?
So what happens is you got
Let's go ahead and let's start over with the initial part of it, right? When we
Yeah.
start talking about the taxes, how does that impact the homeowner, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing that happens, right, is that they don't pay their taxes, so they start incurring fees.
Yeah.
Right out the gate. Boom, you're incurring fees. Now, if you continue to not pay your taxes over time, you're going to start to get interest on those fees that you owe, right? So it's just a big, snowball effect that's going on while this is occurring. So you want to make sure you're paying your taxes because the whole time you're gaining interest and more fees as you don't pay your taxes. The third thing that happens is that eventually there comes a time where they're going to put a lien against your home, right? And once that happens, like, you have you owe the state, like you were explaining earlier, right? And the final move that occurs is that your house can go into foreclosure, and that's what we don't want to happen. That's something you most definitely want to avoid from happening. But then after that, then it goes to what you were discussing with the...
Yeah, no, it goes to the courthouse. The courthouse says, hey, we're gonna, you haven't paid your taxes for so long. You have up to this date to pay your taxes or it's going on the auction block. You have the day before, actually it's an hour before it goes on the auction block, you can still pay your taxes.
Mm.
So some people will wait that long just to say, I don't feel like covering that up until I have to. It's just the way some people are. But if you let it pass, then it's going to go up for auction.
Mm.
And that auction will wipe out any lien that is on that property. From construction liens to whatever other lien might be on there.
Now, this is based off of basically the money that they get, the proceeds they get from the auction.
When
Because
they sell
they're
the
going to use
property.
that in order to cover all the liens that are going on in precedence from the first lien on down.
There are exceptions. We can go over that another time, or people can find that out on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about all these tax liens and everything is that they can buy back their property in 6 months or 2 years, depending on if they have it homesteaded, or if it's agricultural, or if it's not.
So when you purchase a property from one of these auctions, you are issued a sheriff's deed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is a homestead on that property, you cannot sell that. You cannot sell that property and get a title insurance policy for 2 years, 24
Mm.
months. So keep that in mind.
Mm.
Now, a good part about that is, if you are able to purchase one of these properties and that person wants it back, that person has to pay you whatever you paid to purchase the property. Say it was $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
In that first 6 months, they have to pay you the purchase price plus 25% interest. You're not going to find any equity on the market that pays 25% interest. And instantly, yeah. Day one, 25% interest. Day 180, 25% interest.
Mm.
Day 181, if it's a homestead, 50% interest.
Mm.
Who wants 50% interest on their investment? Right here.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Right here.
Although it's
I don't-
probably pretty rare that someone's coming back and
paying
buying their home at
Yeah.
home plus 50%.
But
Yeah.
the good part is, the other side of it is, hey, if you're not going to pay me the price plus 50%, I own it.
Mm.
It's mine.
That is crazy.
Mm.
You sound like Drew from Despicable Me there.
A little bit evil, but it's what
It's interesting too. I've never run into this with insurance specifically, but I do know that if a home like gets foreclosed upon, there's like almost every insurance carrier asks the question. It's almost always a no, obviously, but if it ever is, it can extremely limit the carriers that are actually going to take you for it.
really.
Why is that?
Which is a little interesting, just because they view it as very high risk. It's like they're not paying their taxes, why would they pay their insurance?
Mm.
In a way. And
Oh, it's like if you're the one that you've been foreclosed on.
Yes, if that's the case, which that shows up more on your credit side of things.
Mhm.
If the home itself was foreclosed on, you're not the person that was involved in the situation. It usually has little effect. There's just certain carriers that just don't touch the homes of that nature. The vast majority will, depending on if you are the person or not, vast majority will still do it. It kind of just depends on the situation. That's why they ask. And the ones that will take it, they kind of just need it in documentation. They may charge a little higher too.
Now, loan officer.
Can you take out a loan on a property that doesn't have a good title?
You
Like a
can.
FSBO?
The question is that will it get through title? So if it doesn't get through title, then it's not gonna work. So that becomes the issue.
Yeah, if you want
is
title
always gonna
insurance,
happen.
and
Right.
most lenders want.
We're gonna want title.
Yeah,
insurance.
you're gonna
So
want title insurance.
more than likely, yeah, that could be an issue. Now, if you're buying cash, then you don't have to really be concerned with that as much, right? Because you're
Yeah.
just putting down cash. But when you have a third party involved, then yes, that becomes an issue
They want
because it will be
security.
held up by title, and it could be held up by the company, depending on who you're dealing with.
So just a realistic example. I bought a property
Mm-hmm.
up in a county up north,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to purchase it for pennies on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was pennies on the dollar. But now that it's been 6 months, I technically own that. And I could talk to Susan, I could get the title cleared, then I could talk to you, get a loan on the property to purchase another one, so that I could then recycle my money again.
You gotta repeat that one for me.
Well, Not exactly. So you wouldn't really need me.
But I need to clear the title, because right now all I have is a sheriff's title.
Well, a sheriff's title is kind of your deed. That shows
Right.
ownership.
But I can't
But if you
take
want
it
to
to
sell
Willie.
it,
Could I take it to Willie and ask for a,
title companies are the ones that issue the policy on it.
right,
So you're saying could you take it to Willie to get
and
a
say, hey, can I get a loan on my property?
like a refinance?
Yeah, can I refinance this property because I purchased it? I think it has this value. It doesn't matter that I paid this much, I think it has this value. Can we get a loan for that amount?
Well, you gotta remember, even though you feel like it has that value.
Right, you're gonna have to check.
We're
Right,
gonna
I
check
hear
the
you.
value. It's basically like redoing your loan because you're gonna be going back into what you're talking about. Sounds more like a cash out refinance,
Yeah.
right? So we're gonna look at your credit. We're gonna do everything that we would normally do, right?
Right?
To a certain point, right? And this is why we tell people like whenever they're, especially when we have our borrowers that are just getting into a home, hey man, make sure your credit score stays good because in a few months we're going to be looking at basically the interest rates, right? Making sure it's a good time, and if it's worth it at that point in time, then yes, we will take a look at refinancing somebody. But if it's not worth it, then you'll probably hear from us, hey, we see what's going on. We know you're getting a lot of phone calls from a bunch of different lenders. Now is not the time to refinance because it just doesn't, it's not cost effective is the best way for me to put it. So, but in a circumstance like that, if you want to refinance a home and pull cash out, we would be able to do something like that. But of course, your ducks would have to be in a row, right? We
Yeah.
can't just refinance any property. We have to make sure the value is there. We have to make sure that everything's done correctly, because now you're asking for basically financing from us and the investors that we deal with. So
Yeah.
there's going to be third party involvement. So here we go again. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Is the title good? Is everything back? Is everything on point? Is everything? Can we get to that property if something goes awry? You
Yeah.
know, all that comes back into place. So yes, your title has to be in good condition. You can't just refinance any property. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That ain't how that works. Unfortunately.
That's why I wanted to bring it up, because some people, oh man, I just bought another property.
Right.
Let me refi so I can
Right.
buy another one again.
Right. And
Don't do
that's
it.
pretty much it. Well, you can, but like I said, you just have to make sure your ducks are in a row, because now you're talking about, you got to remember, it's not just you cash out or just basically person to property. You're going to have third party involvement, and they're going to have an interest in your property now. So all your ducks have to be in a row in order to make sure that you can get the cash out that you need in order to fund your next venture, whatever that may be.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the long and the short of what can happen with a when you don't pay your taxes. So
Pay your taxes.
Yeah.
quickest way to avoid it. Pay your taxes.
Awesome.
If y'all have any questions about any of this, obviously feel free to contact any of us. And I don't know what topic we're diving into next week just yet, but stay tuned for that. And make sure to, I'm going to take Daniel's role,
Yes.
Subscribe.
Like.
Comment.
and share the video. Thank y'all for tuning
And
in.
shout out to moms. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Oh,
We'll see y'all next week. Take care.
Bye.